Hey everyone, so I would like to thank you for asking me questions. I'm gonna answer them separately, and no, I'm not weird at all. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, and thank you for saying you love all my cosplays. I would have to say Sailor Moon, but I'm not gonna confirm that. Maybe Death Parade, because I really like the concept of it. It was really awesome. And I'm not even sure if there's a manga or... Honestly, I'm not even sure if there's a manga or another season coming up or whatever, because I'm just not that intense with anime, but like I watch it. But, yeah. Yeah, it's a camera. Yeah. Camera. Say camera. In fact, SNK. But I already cosplayed before. Well, not really cosplayed, I costumed myself. But I never really cosplayed. I cosplayed Sailor Moon at a Halloween party with my friend. But I never really cosplayed seriously, like portrayed the character or anything until SNK. Basically, I fell in love with Aaron. So I ordered the wig, and that's how it all started. But Aaron wasn't really for me, so I ordered Levi's wig after, and that's how it started. Yep. Well, at least I find ways to make this interesting, I guess. Anyways, so if I like cats, what kind of a question is this? I do like cats. I wouldn't own one. I already had a cat, actually two. One died of cancer and the other one is still alive, and I'm gonna babysit him in January. Yeah, I like cats, but I'm more of a dog person. I don't know, just cats are too independent for me, and maybe dogs are too excited for me too, so I don't know, maybe I'm just not good at it. But then again, I don't know. I like dogs more than cats, but I like cats. I like kitties more. Whatever. Sailor Moon? Yeah, I was... How old was I? I was 10? 11? Yeah. Yeah, it was Sailor Moon. And my second one was Cardcaptor Sakura. And after that there was Love Ina when I was a bit older. Yeah, I really liked that. Well, I liked all of them. So, but my first anime and manga was Sailor Moon, and that's basically my childhood. Dragon Ball too, but not as much. It was mostly because I was hanging out with guys. So. Pretty obvious. I think it's Levi, because like in real life, day to day, I smile a lot, but if you don't know me, you're gonna think I have a bitch face, because when I'm just doing nothing, I basically have Levi's face, except I'm not frowning all the time. So yeah, I think it's Levi because I can identify to him a lot. I'm not a bitch, I'm not an asshole, but I kind of tend to look rude at first, and I am not. But that's how I look. So not yet, but actually I made Juzo mostly all by myself, but it was mostly a piece of clothing that I already had. I modified them because I'm really capable of modifying things. There's no problem with that. It's just my sewing machine, whatever, machine, it hates me, and I hate it too, so we're not friends. I want to be friends with it, so I'm learning. Basically, I ordered Aaron's wig first, and I tried it on, and I didn't think it was that bad, but I didn't know anything about styling wigs and stuff like that, so it just looked awful, terrible. I pretty much deleted all those pics, I think. And then I ordered Levi's wig, and that's the first time I tried styling a wig, but I cut one side way too short, and I was pissed off at myself, so that's how I started. I started with 2 wigs, and that's pretty much it. If you're talking about before that, before I started doing it seriously, basically I bought everything for example, Sailor Moon, because that's my oldest one, 2008. Sailor Moon, basically, I bought everything. It was my real hair that I put into buns, and I bought 2 Godiva wigs, if you know what those are. It's like the super long wigs that go down to the floor, and I pinned them to my actual hair, which fucking hurts. Like, that's why I haven't worn Sailor Moon since. I don't. Now I do, but I used to not do it, which is a pretty bad thing. But honestly, when it's about SNK, I don't really count, and I should be because this turned out really bad. But yeah, so for Levi and Aaron, I basically didn't count. But it was expensive. In the end, I think, well, both cosplays are the same, so I think it costed around $300 for everything I have, because I have a lot of things, or maybe even more than that, because just the swords and the boots are really, really expensive. So probably around $300, $400 for it, maybe a little less. 300. I think 300 is a good number. But yeah, for the other ones, I was checking and reusing clothes I already have and stuff like that. Juzo. Juzo is mostly all done by me, except for the basic clothes. But yeah, so Juzo is what I worked the most on, even the prop that was never finished due to my shitty sanding machine. But yeah. About homemade cosplays, websites for tutorials, I assume that you meant. If I have tips on that, I go with Pinterest a lot. Pinterest and YouTube, they have epic tutorials and super easy with a lot of images. The SNK straps, for example, when you receive them, they're all separate, which sucks. Anyways. But you really need a tutorial to put them together, otherwise you're gonna die. It took me an hour and a half with the tutorial, you know, and I destroyed a pair of jeans too, but whatever. So, yeah, I'd say Pinterest first. You type in the search cosplay tutorials, but then again, I'm an addict to Pinterest, so I have like 18,000 pins, something like that. I don't know if that includes secret boards, because I have secret boards like that you don't want to know what's in it. I'm sure you have a pretty good idea after I asked why I got arrested, and you all answered the same thing. That is pretty obvious concerning myself. Anyways. I started because one of my friends was drawing. I didn't know at the time that it was like manga style or whatever. So I was watching her and I thought it was so pretty, and I asked and she said it's Sailor Moon, and she was kind of good for our age, which was like 10. And so I asked, what is that? So she showed me, and that's probably the first time I cosplayed, actually, when I was 10. No, but actually we were a tiny group and we started hanging out, and I was Sailor Mercury, and that's the first time in my life that I had my hair cut like that. Because I really wanted to look like her. I was like so in love with Sailor Mercury, but that's because I was supposed to be her in the group. My favorite was Sailor Moon, obviously. So yeah, that's how I started watching anime. She made me watch all of them, and I fell in love with the series, and then I started reading the mangas, and basically every time we would hang out, we would play Sailor Moon, and I was Sailor Mercury. I even had a little computer, which in that time was very expensive because technology was shit. So yeah, that's how I started watching it. If I like Marvel, I love Marvel. My favorite one is Iron Man. How did I meet Max? I'm gonna cut this and do another shot of video for that, because there are more than one person who asked for that. The most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me, I don't know. A lot of things, because I'm so clumsy and just like I'm a retard, honestly. I think it's in high school where seagull, is that how you call that? I don't know, in French it's mouette. Anyways, I was walking outside at school. I was in I don't know. You probably can't refer to that because here it's secondaire 3. Anyways. I was in high school and I was like 14 or 15 and I was walking outside and suddenly I feel something hit my arm under it. So I was like, oh, okay, I probably got something, like got hit by something. Like there were a lot of skaters and everything in that area, so I was like, oh. So I look and then I see like bird poop on my arm. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Under my arm. Anyways, so I had to face like this walk of shame of walking inside with poop on you, and like it was on my clothes, so I had to find people and ask them if I could get clothes for the rest of the day because I couldn't get home because my home was like an hour of walk from there, so fuck. Anyways, it was kind of embarrassing, but I'm sure there's worse than that. It's just I don't remember it. I fell plenty of times in public places, people laughed, and that's just how I am. I'm just such a retard and I'm clumsy and all, so if you'd hang out with me you'd just laugh all the time because I'm so stupid. Yeah, in a good way, I think. Yeah, so my wig is cut with longer length, and then I used scissors that make it thinner that they use at the hair salon. I bought these at the pharmacy, they were like $20. So basically I weave my way in and take a strand and then no strand and then a strand so that it does this kind of thing that he has in his hair. I also use layer and make them thin so that it looks a bit more puffy. I don't use products in it. I used it in the first with the first wig and it didn't look as natural, but of course right now I have his hair so I can split it in half when I want and just turn into him. So I don't know about the next convention. Maybe I'm gonna wear my real hair and use temporary dye to make it black. And then my first time for Levi's cosplay, I assume you mean a photo. I don't have the photo handy actually, but I have one from approximately the similar time, so I don't know if you can see it very well. It's on my Instagram. What the hell did I just do? This. That's one of my first photos. I'm sorry, I probably yelled in the speaker right now. And the one that I mentioned in my panel that started it all, that I started getting likes over, is this one here. Yeah, that's the one that started it all. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the photos. I think that's what she asked. Where I buy my cosplays and wigs, several places actually. AliExpress, I buy the wigs there because I have this one seller that I like him. The Levi wig I use is the most shittiest one that you can buy. It's like, I think it's like $8, honestly. Sometimes, because it's my third one, sometimes it's pretty good, and the first one I had was shit, but it's the same wig, so it really depends. But that's you can pay more and get more quality. William, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Tu veux le fermer? Oh, you want cars? Okay. Here you go. Here's cars. I'm sorry for the noise in the back. He wants to watch cars. Yeah, so AliExpress, eBay, Amazon is a bit expensive. You can find the same things on eBay and AliExpress. You just have to trust the seller. If I like potatoes, I do, but I prefer French fries, which are potatoes, but I prefer them that way. Yeah, lightsaber. Here you go. Hahaha. You want me to run after you? I'm gonna run after you. I'll be right back. Okay, so when did I start cosplaying and how did the idea of it started? Like I said, 2008, 2012, 2014, depends what you're referring to, but seriously, it's 2014. The idea was because of SNK. I don't know, I just freaked out and fell in love with Aaron, so I needed everything SNK, and to me, when I started seeing the fandom on Tumblr, because that's pretty much the place I was hanging out at, I freaked out, and I was like, oh my god, everyone's cosplaying them, and it's girls who cosplay guys, and that was like pretty much the first time that I kind of noticed how much crossplay was popular. And since I have kind of a strong jaw, well, not that much, I kind of always felt not really as good when I cosplayed girls like Princess Anna and stuff like that. So I was like, ugh. But then I tried to be a guy, and it kind of worked. I didn't really like Eren. Well, at first I kind of liked it. So I browsed and I browsed and I watched tutorials on how to shade your face and whatever, and how to hide your eyebrows also. Do you guys know how to do that? Because if you don't, I could show a tutorial on that. I could make a YouTube video. There are a lot of those, but if you want me to do it, I would. I don't mind. I also have Levi's makeup to do because I did one with Max, but I'm pretty sure you'd like it better if I did it myself, right? Yeah, I kind of assume. So I'm gonna do it anyways. The idea of it started with that, basically with SNK, just because I fell in love with them, totally. When I realized we were more than just best friends, and how did we get together eventually? I'm sorry for that robotic voice I just made. Yeah. Anyways, so I met him in high school. We were in the same class in secondaire 3, which I don't know what it is to you. Basically I was 14, 15, something like that. We were in the same English class, because here we have French as basic language and English as second, which is I don't remember the words, so fuck it. Yeah, so I met him in this class. At that time he had blue hair. I knew him before that, but I met him there. As I talked to him there. He had blue hair, like really, really blue. And at that time it wasn't that popular to have color in your hair. Manic Panic was a pretty new thing. Yeah, I'm old. Don't you guys realize I'm like super old? I was here before emails, man. I'm so old. Yeah. Okay, so we talked a bit because we were forced into a team with some other guy that was my cousin's best friend, and we just talked a bit there. So that's how it was. So the next year, we didn't talk after that. Like I would see him and just like nod or whatever. He was kind of popular. He was hanging out with popular people too, and I wasn't really. Like I had my little crew of girls that I still love so much, but we weren't like popular or anything. We were just hanging out regularly. So the next year we changed schools. He didn't go to the same school, and I didn't go to the same school because our high school, it ended at this year, and we had to move to another one for the 2 last years. But he didn't go to the same one. So basically what happened there is one night I was on a website, something of Crush or whatever, I don't remember the name of it, but I received an email, a message from him, and he's like, "You look familiar, do I know you?" And I was like, "I don't remember, do I? Maybe I do." And I searched and I searched, and I was like, "Oh my god, where do I know this guy from?" Because he looked different, he didn't have blue hair anymore and anything, and he matured also. So anyways, I figured it out after a while, and he was like, "Oh my god, we're in the same class." And anyway, so we started talking, and we talked, basically it went fast. We talked like every day, and we started hanging out and whatever, and it was like super fun, and I kind of felt something, but I was like, oh, he's just my best friend, so it can't happen. Like, and I'm pretty sure he felt the same, or he was shy. Like, we were both shy, honestly. So the next year, it was our last year of high school, and around November, I think, no, probably October, I started hanging out more with him, and he met my friends, and we started hanging out as a group, and around December, I went to my parents' place up north, and when I came back from the weekend, I saw a status on MSN, because MSN was a thing at that time, that he was in a relationship with one of my ex-friends, And I was so fucking pissed off, man. But it's my fault. I didn't say a word, you know, the guy's not gonna wait forever. But then again, he could have said something. So anyways, I was pissed, so we argued and then we stopped talking. And around January, I think it was for New Year, we wished ourselves Happy New Year. And we started talking again slowly. And the 16th of January 2004, he came over to my place. Well, I went a couple of times to his place before that, and he came over and whatever. We just hang out like normal people. But then on the 16th of January, he came over here, and my brother lended me Jimmy Neutron. I don't remember the name. So we watched that, and it was super retarded, and we kept laughing because of the chickens, and I don't even remember why. I just remember that we laughed because of the chickens. And he kept turning his head to me, and I was like so too shy to turn around and just kiss him already, so I didn't. And at the end of the night, I was like at the stairs at the end of my kitchen there, and I was sitting in them, and he was tying his shoes, and he lifted his head, and I just turned my head away, like as if I was not interested, but it's just because I was internally freaking out. So it was basically his move, and I rejected him because I was stupid. Oh my god. Anyways, so he walked out the door, but right as he did, I grabbed his wrist and I pulled him in and I hugged him so hard, and I was like, dude, I am freaking out. I don't want to fuck up our friendship. I'm just really scared right now. Like, let me breathe. Let me just like get this in. So anyways, that night he sent me a message, a long email, and I replied to it, and basically it was official, but it wasn't really official. So the next day he was going to his father's place, so we couldn't see. Wait. So we couldn't, yeah. So anyways, we couldn't see each other the next day. So anyways, I felt really bad, but then again, we kept writing emails back and forth. And I'm sorry there's like cars playing in the back, so it fucks up my videos, but that's what's life with a kid. But yeah, so anyways, on the 18th, he came back to my place, and I'm sorry this is shaking, it's me touching the table. So he came back to my place, and basically we kissed after like 2 seconds of being together. And that's how it started. So yeah, we were best friends, and I almost lost my chance like twice. And then we both made the move, and that's it. So it's been 11 years and a half already, and we're married now. So yeah, anyways, anything can happen as long as your love is strong enough. We'll be together forever, and I believe that. Except that in my mind, I have another husband, maybe two, you know, because they go together. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so no, Max has my heart forever. So that's pretty much it. I hope you're not crying right now. Well, I'm not good to make people cry except for fics. Did you read my fics? Who reads my fics? I want to know who reads my fics. Comment that. Yeah, I know some of you. I know some of you. What's your name? You Ursiel Fish. You do. The typo myself every single time I try to write my name. It's retarded. It's kind of exciting, but it doesn't happen a lot because I'm not that known. Like, honestly, I'm like no one. But yeah, it happened like 2 or 3 times at Takuton, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so funny. And yeah, so the person who asked that is actually someone who came over to see me and recognize me, so I was really, really happy. I was happy meeting you actually, so I hope I can see you next year too. There are a couple of others. I remember on the Friday when I was Jean, I had a lot of fun with that person who probably recognized me, but I was not sure because I couldn't see because they were too far. You know who you are. But you didn't ask any questions, so I'm pretty sure you're not gonna watch this, but if you do, well, you know who you are. I had a lot of fun because my friend Alex, which is Aaron Yeager, which I talk to like all the time, so you've probably seen the tag already. The one that my Aaron basically. Yeah, so I was having a lot of fun because she kept saying, look, 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 this person keeps looking at you. And I was like, what? They're looking at me? And I turned and they were looking at me and then they were laughing. You totally know who you are. Anyways, so it was really, really funny for that. I kept like teasing them, like just I kept turning and watching them to see what they would do, and I was hoping they would come over and talk to me, but they didn't. Afterwards, they said they were too shy, but it's okay. And I mean, I've seen them on the Sunday when I was in pajama. I just didn't realize it was them because their cosplays were epic, and basically I ran to them because I saw Nagisa and I love Nagisa so much. Yeah, so yeah, anyways, it's fun. It's just I'm not expecting that from cosplay. Basically, I do it to have fun. I do it to portray the characters that I love, and that's basically my only reason to do it. I met a lot of people through cosplay, through Instagram mostly. There are 4 people that I talk to very often. There's my friend Niniko, who is a real life friend that I met in high school. There's my friend Erin Yeager on Instagram. Alex is a friend that I talk to mostly every day because we share the love of a famous pairing. He's strong. Anyways, and my friend Sri, whatever. I knew I would butcher your name, but you don't even try to say mine, so I have the right to. I'm sorry. So Kazume Senpai on Instagram, and the last one is Lady Cosplay, who I met at Anime North. Annie, I've been talking to her since May, pretty much every day, or like very, very often. We RP like crazy. We're like queens of RP. You should read it. Like, totally. We're gonna make a fanfic out of that. Anyways, so yeah, these are the 4 people, and that's how I met them. And I met a lot of other people that are really nice too. Well, like I mentioned before, I don't make them yet, but I will start making them eventually if I can become friends with my sewing machine and also find a time to do that. But yeah, Juzo, it took me about 2-3 hours total, but I didn't make the shirt, I didn't make the pants, I modified them. And the suspenders, I made them and everything. Well, I didn't make the suspenders, but I made everything that went on it. Anyways, so yeah, but so we'll have to see, but I assume it's gonna take a lot of time, especially if I do armor stuff, which is really something I'd like to try eventually, but Warbler is like so expensive that it's not gonna be for now. So that's pretty much it for that. How did I get into cosplay? Well, I've always liked it. I've always watched it like online and all. I never really got into it because I knew it was expensive and I didn't really have friends who were interested in it. Well, my friend Niniko was, but I didn't really know that she was. I knew she liked anime and stuff like that, but I didn't know she cosplayed. But she cosplayed for a while actually, and so yeah, so she dragged me at Comic-Con in 2012, and then that's when I got I started wanting to do it like more, but I wasn't really into anime anymore, so it just never happened. And then suddenly in 2014 she forces me to watch SNK, and here I am now. And yeah, so it's mainly because of Neneko and SNK. It's their fault. Yeah. I'm gonna put a tutorial for that on my YouTube the next time I'm gonna do it, because I might as well cosplay while I do it. So the next time I'm gonna get into Levi, I'm gonna film myself as I do the makeup, so that way you're gonna have the actual tutorial online. I know I made one with Max, but it's not really the same as if it's me. So I'm gonna post one with my own makeup, so you're gonna be able to see that soon when I have some time in September. So yeah. Favorite cosplay? Do I even have to answer? I don't know. Anyways, it's Levi, obviously. I believe my second one would be Nagisa, but I'm not really that fond of those cosplays because they're really easy and I don't have the face for them. I'm like too old. I don't know. I'm old, so I'm perfect for Levi. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, Levi is my favorite one. As for Comic-Con in Texas, actually I'd love to go to every con that exists. It's just the price that is really expensive, not necessarily the cons, it's just the hotels and travel and plane tickets. Everything is so expensive, so for now I'm gonna say no because I really can't. So I have to stay within a driving range where I can drive with my car, and even then it's hard to manage because of hotel prices. But if I can actually start making buttons and selling them and prints and stuff like that, and if people buy what I like, what I make, and what they like, it could help. So I don't know. So I'm gonna say no, but it's actually a maybe because you never know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I would really like to. I would really like to go to any con that exists, actually. Especially like the big ones in California. Those ones I'd really like to go to, but unfortunately I live on the wrong side. So I want to thank you guys for asking me questions. Know that my ask box on Tumblr is always open. I'm kind of scared to put the Anon on, but I'm gonna try that for a while. It's because I got 8 before, but like really bad, like death threats and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna turn the Anon back on and I'll see how it goes. So anyways, you can ask anything on Instagram too, anywhere basically, because I have like every social network that exists. So yeah, so thank you for asking me questions, and thank you for following me, crazy person that I am. I have no idea why you follow me, but yeah, thank you very much.